This is Paige and
Johan.
we're here to play a battle report, Kingdoms of Men versus Ogres, Johan's Ogres, that was featured on Newbie Dive podcast earlier.
Hello there! I like to watch battle reports to get better at games. So I started making short, summarized battle reports that focus on learning points. So welcome to my channel, Newbie Dice. Do like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you enjoy my videos.
Johan's Ogres that was featured on Newbie Dive podcast earlier. You can check that out in the wherever it is on top. And he just done his Nomagorok model as well as Kuslo and Madfall, which is a Squeak Hopper.
Yes.
We're going to feature that in the video later on. And for myself, for the first time, I'm bringing my Kingdoms of Men army. It is my Romance of the Three Kingdoms of Men army. I'm pretty excited to play it.
Awesome looking army.
Yeah, and in theory, I think the list looks strong, but there are a few things that I never played before, especially War Engines. I've never really played War Engines before, so we'll see how that goes. Any thoughts on our matchup? We're playing Fool's Gold. Gold. So it's pretty interesting because there's lots of tokens on the board and we have no idea what each one is worth until, or at least the opponent's half, right? Or your half, which one is worth 2, 1, and 0. Any thoughts you have about the match going in?
I have placed my tokens, my objectives.
Don't reveal anything.
Randomly. So let's see how this goes. I have no idea how to deal with the ensnare Fenlax Pikeman, so I'm just going to lightning bolt their ass. So that's my plan going in.
Alright, so let's see how it goes in the game.
Alright. I'm pretty excited to do this battle report because firstly, it is featuring a new army of mine, Kingdoms of Men, which I'll get to in a moment. And I like to try new stuff on my channel, so this is a new style of battle reports that's heavily inspired by mastercrafted style of battle reports, so there's some live in-game footage. However, this is the first one of the series, and at the time my equipment was failing on me. The gimbal stabilizer couldn't take the weight of my massive cell phone because my cell phone has a very large screen and the stabilizer that I have couldn't take the weight, so it keeps collapsing while we were recording. So hopefully there's still good enough footage to feature in this video. Onto my army. My army is the Kingdoms of Men that's heavily inspired and influenced by Dynasty Warriors or Romance of the Three Kingdoms. So Romance of the Three Kingdoms is a popular era of history that has been novelized in Chinese culture. Dynasty Warriors is a video game franchise. This is the epitome of hack and slash video games. You basically slash and chop up tons and tons of soldiers. You can get like 1,000 kills in the video game. It's a lot of hack and slash, a lot of ridiculous power moves, and yeah, if you just like to murder lots of people, that's a video game that you'd like. And yeah, it also goes through the Chinese history of what happened, right? Of course, there's some magic involved in the video game series, and in fact the game was so popular that it's a Netflix movie now. There's a Netflix movie and the fighting is just as ridiculous with lots of power moves. You know, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, you know, there's some historical accuracy, but this is just a ridiculous power move. So if you enjoy a laugh, you can just watch that movie on Netflix. And in fact, Dynasty Warriors is from KOW, which is now KOW Tecmo Games. It's actually a Japanese game company, and their art style, if you look at this character in green, Zhang Fei, it's very highly stylized, you know, in the video game franchise series, you know, very Japanese anime style stylized. And the video game series has been running for many years. Before this Dynasty Warriors, they also had a strategy game, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, that has been around since the DOS era. So a lot of our vision, how we see the Romance of the Three Kingdoms characters, have actually been heavily influenced by the Dynasty Warriors series because it's so heavily stylized. So this is Zhang Fei. I'm going to show you my character of Zhang Fei. So this is a picture of the three Swan brothers, Zhang Fei, Liu Bei, and Guan Yu. And they are three of the most popular characters in the era, the novelization of the history as well. So Zhang Fei looks like this, lots of various artwork. And this is my Zhang Fei. I wanted to paint him with more blacks because the dragon is green. So I don't want him to be green all over. So I give him more blacks because you can see in some of the illustrations there's some black in it. So yep, didn't get a good shot of the face though. And if you recognize this dragon, some of you might recognize it from Dragon Ball, famous anime. I don't really watch that anime or manga because it's a little bit older, beyond my era. It's like my big brother's era. So if I were to watch it, I have to be like going retro to be watching it. So nope, I don't really watch it, but I took the dragon. I found this dragon. This is how it originally looks like, you know those kind of toy with the very bad painting. So I just repainted it all over. In fact, the shimmering green is actually color shifting paint. It will shimmer between green and yellow. Vallejo series. Thinking back, I think the Green Stuff World series will probably look better. I think, yeah, you can see some bits of yellow coming through over here with different angles. I haven't tried the Green Stuff World one, but I think the Green Stuff World one, the color shift would be more obvious compared to the Vallejo one, but I didn't buy the Green Stuff World one because there was some big hoo-ha at the period of time. So then next we have Guan Yu. This is also one of the most famous characters of that era. In fact, he is idolized or worshipped as a god, one of the god of the Chinese pantheons now, Guan Yu. So you might see statues of Guan Yu in Chinese shops even. You know, when they have an altar where they put a god statue, then you might have Guan Yu there. Very praised for his loyalty and his strength on the battlefield. So this is him on a horse. I actually painted him up a little bit earlier to use in a campaign game as the captain. So I put it mounted, and then this is him on a dragon. So this one is purple, and I think it shimmers between purple and pink. So some angles you can see a bit of pink. So the rest of the soldiers, so the models, right, they came from Defiant board game or tabletop game, and I happened to find them on Chinese e-commerce website called Taobao, which is actually the retail version of Alibaba. So I think some of the Chinese factories still have tons and tons of stock of these models that the game is already discontinued. So I would love to have Liu Bei, but I couldn't find models of Liu Bei. Let's see this guy here. I think they were all out of print. And Zhao Yun also is also another popular character, but also out of print. So I don't have models of them. So these are just mounted sergeants. These are fanatics. So I have a lot of limitation in model choice. So you see they're all monopose. Just so these guys, they look like a bit like pirate folk with the curved swords. So I just use them as fanatics. But there's only one model of it, so I have to they're all monopose, right? Whereas the spearmen, spears were the weapon of choice of the Chinese foot soldiers. So probably because of low cost, right? You just need a wooden pole and a sharp point at the end. There were, I think, 3 variations of spearmen. So 1, 2, 3, you can see them. And I just mix them up throughout. So I have 1 regiment and 1 horde of spearmen. So this is another character from Dynasty Warriors. It's called Ma Chao, one of the 5 generals of the Shu army. But I thought he would look great as the generic knight. So I bought them. So monopose once again. And another character that's popular, Zhuge Liang. This is a military strategist, so he's not a fighter, so he holds a fan and he, advises General Liu Bei from the side, and he's praised as the most brilliant mind of the era. 2 iconic things about him, which is the fan, the feathered fan, and this hat, the design of this hat. Unfortunately, I don't have that model, so I'm used another model that's in like civilian wear. This is actually Cao Cao, another opposing general. I forgot what I was holding, so I just switched it to a feathered fan by some green stuff and some angel wing bits. So this is how it looks like. So I wanted him to be on a Pegasus, wizard on Pegasus, since he's an advisor, he's not a martial combatant. So I put him on a cloud and he's floating around. So this is a wizard on Pegasus, count S. As I was making the army, at first I wanted to make it more historical, no magical elements, and I ran a test list on Universal Battles. It's all infantry and cavalry, and I didn't enjoy it, so I started to tweak more towards the mythical side. So I had the winged beast, the generals mounted on the dragon, and then I came across Sun Wukong, the monkey god. So you might know this from he's even popular in video game franchises and so on and so forth as well. Very popular character in Chinese fairy tales, folklore, children's stories, even also worshipped as a god. So you see this picture, this is a statue of him, probably worshipped as a god. That's why there's like flower garlands all around him. Yeah, this is one of the many Monkey King or Monkey God movies that come out in Chinese theaters. Many iterations of Sun Wukong in many movies has been produced already. This is probably him in a video game. This is him in a art manga kind of style of drawing. And this is the traditional children's fairy tale design of Sun Wukong, Monkey King. Right? It's the very standard yellow, red, and blue, and this orange pelt. portrayed by Chinese theater opera singers, opera actors, right? So this is this kind of face paint is very traditional of a Chinese traditional theater called opera. And see, this is another cartoon depiction, and this is probably another fan art or something. I bought this model on Taobao as well. This is how it looks like originally. It's probably meant to be put as a the car dashboard kind of decoration. It comes with a metal, the rod is metal, but the rest of it is made out of, it looks like ivory, but it's apparently a palm nut. There is a replacement for ivory, so it's like a souvenir product made with an ivory lookalike material. Paints on quite well, so this is the work in progress, and this is the full painted model. And I went with the traditional colors, so the the popping yellow, red, and blues, and I'm quite happy with the final look of it, because this looks very at the same time very traditional and very true to its original colors, the cartoon colors. But at the same time, the model looks so badass. I'm very happy with the skin colors. I actually put a lot of different layers of colors. It went very wrong before it looked right. So I'm very happy with how it looks like it has lots of dimensions to it. I learned in a video that even our skin pigments, there's some bits of green. So you can see I washed it with green as well. So you can see bits of green. I think that helps to make it realistic. And then I think there's some red wash, and then there's a brown wash. Yeah, so I washed it multiple times, highlighted again, and washed it. I'm not great at highlighting, so there's no very sharp highlights on the models. The only thing that I wish that I had done better is the glowing eyes. Just painted it white. I tried to dry brush it outwards, but this is the best I could do. There are certain parts of the model, I'm not sure if this model was hand carved or whatever. There are certain parts that the details were not fantastic, like the hand over here. You can see that it looks a little bit low in details. And even the foot, the shin guards over here, some areas were not very detailedly carved. But I think overall it looks fantastic. This is the army shot. So two things I never featured was the cannon. So one is a dwarven cannon. Actually, one is a cannon from a pirate game, Blood and Sail or something like that my local game store carries. So they're just very generic looking cannons. One model I forgot was the army standard bearer. I had it painted long ago, but it's just one very normal looking dude, one soldier with a flag. Alright, this is my list. 2 spear phalanx upgraded with pikes, and each of them have an indomitable will. 1 regiment, 1 horde. The horde has brew of strength. It had brew of strength, and it was part of the final points. It's like, there's nothing better I could do with 40 or 50 points. Might as well give them brew of strength. I'm not sure if the bet is if it's the best thing, but at least they are a pseudo hammer as well, which is great, because they average 15 hits, right? If they hit on 4s. And at crushing 1 with a Binchan, it could be crushing 2. 2 regiment of fanatics. Visibly Riley says that the reason to play Kingdoms of Men is because of fanatics and the general on winged beast. The reason to play Kingdoms of Men versus League of Rhodia. So these are 2 units that League of Rhodia doesn't have, which are pretty good. So if you are to play Kingdoms of Men, these are 2 good reasons to play them. So I have 2 regiment of fanatics. I'm still getting the hang of them. So Knights, very generic, just wanted something with a good threat range, decent reach. So 215 with Potion on the Caterpillar. So this also gives me my only Pathfinder in the game. Mounted Sergeants, just as my Cav gets chaff things up. So I don't have much chaff in this list. So one of them is the Mounted Sergeant, and the other one is the Wizard if I used him as a chaff. 2 cannons just to have some shooting. Quite light in shooting, but I guess 2 cannons is enough to get people to think about them and deploy it with the cannons in mind. So opponents might deploy dodging the cannons. I have a Giant. Giant is not something traditional to Kingdoms of Men lists, competitive lists. I don't really see Giants being taken, but because of Sun Wukong, right, I just wanted to have this Giant, and I think the whole list is a little bit about delivering the Giant, whether it's fanatics or this pikemen, they absorb the charge, and then the Giant gets, because the Giant from the front, you can't rely, it's not reliable because of the d6 plus 8 and melee 4. So, but in a flank, you will quite definitely kill, right? Just heard the list builder studio with Jeff O'Neill on counter charge as well. The Goblin list has the Giant, and it does exactly that. The Goblins take the charge and the Giant flanks. So it's a credible threat. And Crushing 4 is nice, you know. Even against Defense 6, I win on 2s. I've played so long of the Order of the Green Lady where I have a lot of Thunderous charge 2, Crushing 1, Thunderous 1, whatever it is. Once I get into the thick of things, I don't get much more than Crushing 1 or 2. And you know, I need to get the Bane Chant just to get Crushing 3. But you know, look at this, Giant Crushing 4, no problem hitting Defense 6 stuff. So this is something that I like about the Giant as well, which is not too bad, which is a fairly good addition to my list, I suppose. So 2 generals on Winged Beast, pretty cheap, 190, self-inspiring. So they are your Beast of Nature with 1 lower nerf, but they are very inspiring and potentially Crushing 3 with CS2 and Thunderous 1, but no Pathfinder and no Vicious. So very, very comparable. As such, I run them like my Beasts of Nature in my Order of the Green Lady list. So Army Standard Bearer, with nothing better to do, gave him a loot to cast Bane Chant every turn. So the Wizard, I didn't take Bane Chant on the Wizard because, you know, I might as well give the role to the Army Standard Bearer. Maybe I could have given him Bane Chant as well, so that I have 2 sources of Bane Chant in the list, but that would mean I have to take off the Brew of Strength. So I don't know, so I just keep him cheap, fly him around because he is my secondary chaff, right? Because I only have 1 dedicated chaff, which were the Mounted Sergeants, so the Wizard needs to be sacrificed more often than not, so I didn't want to take Bane Chant on him. So it's just with Lightning Bolt 3, which is fairly decent. I've played 2 games with him, I kind of like him. So 13 units at 2000 points with 21 unit strength. Pretty good unit strength, pretty good number of drops, even though I have 1 individuals and 2 war engines that doesn't score. My opponent's list: Ogres, Thick Chaff in the Braves, 1 Goblin Scout Chaff, and another sort of Thick Chaff in the Goblin Rebel. Boomers with Elite, Hunters, and Siege Breakers. 1 unit of Hunter, 1 unit of Siege Breakers, 1 unit of Chariots with Pathfinder. So same thing, Army Standard Bearer with Bane Chant, and Kuzla of Madfall, Ogre Warlock with Conjurer Staff, and Drain Life, and Nomagorok. Kuzla and Madfall is I think it's a very, very good unit in Ogres. Maybe in Goblin as well. If you use it correctly, he can be very, very good at defense. He alone can be good at defending a single flank. Or late game, he can contribute to the middle and add his special dread to give the opponent -2, right, brutal, and his special ability. So if played well, is really, really good in Ogre's list. I played against Matt G from UK, and he always takes Kuzlo and Madfall, and I told Johan to bring Kuzla and Madfall. Yeah, he's like loving it as well. So just looking at our deployment right now from left to right, there's 3 tokens on this left side. You can see 1 over here, 1 in the forest, and 1 just in front of my little fanatics over here. So 3 tokens, that's why I'm pretty deployed heavily on this left side. I have a speed 10, but he has a chariot that matched the same speed as my little cavalry over here. So, and we both have Potion of the Caterpillar, so we're both able to ignore the hindrance from the forests. So next, I have my cannons deployed split up. So 1 is just behind that tower, and 1 is all the way over here. So I think there's a mistake because sometimes we cannot fire at the same thing together. Center, nice strong pikeman horde with Ensnare, Phalanx, Indomitable Wheel in the center. They also have Brew of Strength, so they hit back quite hard. So I decided to go down the center, hopefully get that cover behind that field and to threaten that center objective token. That is the one that I placed. They are supported by 1 Giant on the left and 1 Fanatics on the right. They are facing opposite Rebel Horde. 2 of them are visible, the rest are taken the potion of invisibility. And hunters behind the forest, so they will be ignoring this terrain from the forest and the field. Not the fence though, so we'll see how that goes. So he's pretty handily deployed most of his stuff behind this hill. I think is to get cover from the cannon as well. Only 1 cannon as well, because this one over here can't really see past that hill. So yep, 2 of his warlocks, 1 being Nom Nom. Nom Nom is facing backwards because his palm is too awesome and facing forwards. Let's have a close up on that. Focus it in. Red Skin Nom Nom. And so we have our Siege Breakers. Behind that are Berserker Braves.
Warlock with Drain Life, and Boomers with Elite. Going down here, we have our Guan Yu, General on Winged Beast on this Dragon Ball Dragon. Regiment of Pikemen, facing off behind that blocking terrain, just Kuslo and Madfall. Lone Ranger defending that flank. And we have one token over here, and one token over the other side next to Kuslo. So we'll see what happens there. Remember, the scenario is Fool's Gold, which means I know what are the tokens on his half worth because I placed them, and he knows what are the tokens on my half is worth. So let's see how it goes.
These are the 5 tokens that I placed. So one very close to the center is just off center towards his half, and that's the 2-pointer over here. And then I placed the other 2 1-pointer at the extreme ends. And then I placed the 0-pointer, in the middle-ish area. So I want to force, the opponent to split up his armies to the flanks because I'm not sure. I think I don't want to fight the ogres head on, just crash in the face. So I want the points to be spread out, center, left, and extreme right. His tokens 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my cannons, you can see 1 here and 1 there. So one is looking down this area, right? And the other one is looking down this area because of the hill. Or if he goes on the hill, I could see these boomers. He's protecting these boomers because he wants them to be so this boomer cannot be seen by both cannons, while the rest of the stuff over here, or at least just the siege breaker, can be seen by 1 cannon. So at least the warlocks and the braves are protected. So he's willing to absorb some 1 cannon fire on his siege breakers, which is alright. He has heal to heal them back up as well. So you see, even with just 2 cannons, it influences the opponent's deployment. So he's quite heavily deployed here behind the hill just to be covered from my cannons. I placed this spear phalanx here, right, instead of, here, opposite the field. Hunters have Pathfinder, but the obstacle will still cause it to be hindered. So that's why I wanted to move it up center of the fence, the obstacle, so that the hunter would charge in hindered. Hopefully that was what I was thinking of, but looking at that, when the rebel charge in with the hunter, then the hunter will probably not be hindered because the rebel is a longer base. It will probably be like this, and then the hunters will be like that. So maybe not such a great idea after all. So what I didn't account for was the shooting. Boomers plus 2 lightning bolt sources are pretty painful. Opposite this, I have like my fanatics and my general on winged beast to sort of deter this flank. This not really a flank, but the center right. So we rolled off. My dice is the neon green one. I rolled a 5 and he rolled a 6. This is his lucky blue dice that he got from a painting challenge some time ago, and it's pretty lucky. It tends to roll 5 and 6 quite often, I know, but at the end of the day, it's Chessex dice, right? We just love to love and hate his this lucky dice sometimes. And he won the initiative, so he decides to take the first turn, shuffle everything upwards. So things to take note is the Kuslo and Madfall beside the building over here. I guess taking cover from the cannon. Stuff shuffled up. The rebel goes first, so now it is maybe it's benefiting from the obstacle earlier than I am. Thing to take note, his hunters took a hard left because I was quite heavily deployed on the left side because of the 3 tokens, as I mentioned earlier in the video. 1, 2, I was very heavily deployed on the left, so he swung his hunters towards the left. I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do. I guess you could swing to the left while, keeping some eye on the middle, but he made quite a hard left. You see, it's could only see the giant at this point, and if my giant moved, tactically it could be out of the hunter's line of sight even. Okay, so on the left, the chariots moved up and just towed into the forest, so he could charge. He could see through the forest, and because we are the same speed, right, that means probably if I move forward, he's gonna charge me. There's that.
Alright, top of 1. Now we are going to the shooting phase.
Okay, both lightning bolts will go to the fanatics.
2 lightning bolts on the fanatics. So from these 2 ogres onto the fanatics. Okay. Oh, my fanatics gonna take some hurt.
Right, the golden dice will be Nom Nom, and the bronze dice will be Warlock. There's a 1 conjurer staff on the Warlock.
Okay.
On a 4+, 5 hits. On a 3+, 4 wounds.
2+ because their defense 3, I think.
Okay, so still 4 wounds.
But still 4 wounds. Alright. Nerf test.
It's nothing.
They're fine. Is that all the shooting?
Yep, that's it.
Alright.
So opening salvo, 4 damage onto the Fanatics. Pretty painful already at this point. And let's see what I did in return. So you can see the turn counter here, bottom of 1. A means after the movement phase, and B means at the end of the turn, because we have a video in the middle to capture the shooting and melee phase. Wukong, the giant, moved the full 7 inches up. I think it's probably out of the front arc of the hunters, but I can't be 100% sure. Probably is. That's the middle, pushed up over here. And I don't want to play cat and mouse with Kuslo, so I just push my general up quite far so that, you know, maybe he couldn't run away from me because I have that 20-inch charge range. But there is this big blocking terrain over here which is supposed to be height 9, although this terrain piece looks very flat. It's for the ease of gameplay so that your opponent can see things hiding behind the building, but it is height 9. Okay, so I was hoping he would charge it and then I'll double charge it, probably kill it, right, in 1 or maybe a few more turns. I moved it quite far up is also to hide against the boomers. So if he turns around and shoots at me, I think I would claim cover from the edge of the building. You know, hopefully that was what I was thinking anyway. Spear dudes on the flank, I think is deployed in terrain, so you can only shuffle 5-inch upwards. Okay, the Fanatics here hoping to be a second wave after things crash into my giants or my spearmen. My Fanatics can come in as a second wave to clear up. So that's what I was thinking anyway. Over on the left, because the chariots tow into the forest, right? I would be ready for the situation that, you know, the next turn he could possibly just back out and then I would have nothing to charge. So over here when I advanced, the first thing I did, Fanatics once again staying out of charge range, probably as a second wave. Okay. The mounted sergeants covering the frontage of the cavalry, so my cavalry can't be charged. Yep, not in front arc. So the scouts couldn't charge it. I'm not sure if he could position his scouts to be able to see all this stuff over here. That would have been ideal. Okay, but this is the current situation. And because of the edge of the board plus the mounted sergeants, he couldn't charge my general on winged beast either. And the general on winged beast is coming down the edge of the board because why? I can see past here. So that even when he backs out of the forest, at least my general on winged beast can see. So that is the plan, that is the idea going forward. So let's see what happens.
Okay, go.
Alright, bottom of 1 shooting phase. This wizard on Pegasus will shoot at this one. Lightning bolt 3. The pathetic 3. Nothing! Alright, so this cannon will shoot at that berserker's unit over there. 5+ to hit. 1 hit, blast. D3 plus 1, so 2, 3.
So that's 3.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
The other cannon will shoot at the same berserker. Nope, only 2 wounds.
And the nerf roll.
That's pathetic. I think I can't even.
Yeah, you can't even break it.
Okay, so that's the shooting phase.
Let me keep a running counter count on my cannons. So it's 3 hits so far after the blast, right? So 2 wounds on the berserkers. I was hoping that, you know, if I got lucky, I might be able to rout the berserkers. Didn't happen. So that could have been wasted shots because the berserker is gonna come in and chaff things up anyway. Even without the 2 wounds, I think they'll be dead to the reprisal. So maybe I could have shot something else and then he'll be forced to heal instead of lightning bolt, hopefully. So let's see what's his response. Let's start with the left side. His chariots, as expected, did pull out of the forest. Okay, and note that my mounted sergeants are not into the forest, the leader point especially, because they don't have Pathfinder, so they can't touch the forest because they moved more than 9 inches or 10. I think they are speed 9. So in the middle, this is an interesting maneuver that they did. He moved his goblin rebel up, but in a way that it allows his berserkers to charge without hindrance. So the rebel took the terrain so that the berserkers charge without terrain. But that also means that when I charge in return, I can declare a fresh charge into its flank. Okay, because there is this space sticking out, and I'm already contacting his flank by this corner because the corner is counted as both the front and side facing. So it's not a counter charge. If I counter charge, I would have slid into the center. But it's a fresh charge into the flank, which I'm already contacting his flank. So I just pick up and place. But because it's a fresh charge, I will be hindered by the terrain here, by the obstacle. The hunters over here, so it continues its advance, but because it couldn't see the giant, right? It wants to continue advancing. So I think out of the cavalry threat range as well. And so it used the goblin scouts to protect its flank. Because this is clearly within the 14-inch threat range. So over here are the Kuslo and Metfall. On the right side, put into the building. So I think I don't have line of sight to it. So I'll waste one turn trying to chase it down. That's the thing about blocking terrain. They can block off the site from being charged. They can block line of sight. So it might be a long back and forth dancing if I were to try to chase down Kuslo.
Turn 2.
Boomers going for the
Boomers on Fanatics.
Fanatics. There's no cover if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So 18 shots with elite on 4+.
Okay.
6 hits out of 18.
6 hits!
Alright, good job.
I think they're defense 3, so I think it 1, 2, 5 wounds. Any more shooting?
I'm going to do the lightning bolts one by one. So I'll go with Warlock. All hits, no conjure stuff. So I'll roll this outside. Yep. 4, 5 hits. 1 miss. So 4 wounds. As such,
They're
I
at
only need
13.
double ones.
Yep. Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 hits on 3+. 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
Nerf check. For the Fanatics, 7 to a 4.
Dead.
Type man, 7 and a 9, that's nothing.
Yep.
That's my shooting phase. So I have a charge over here.
Okay.
So that's 15 attacks at 4+.
3 hits
Yes, sir.
Hit on 3
On 4s.
Oh.
That's 2 wounds.
Okay. 2 wounds.
Let's roll a double 6 this time. To take away the Indomitable Will. Oh. Yeah.
No double 6.
Alright, that's it.
So end of the turn, my Fanatics got wiped out over 2 rounds of shooting. And 2 wounds on the pikemen on the right side, the regiment. And the center got 2 wounds from the Braves. So not doing too bad at this moment. Bottom of 2, some expected maneuvers. So firstly, I charged the chariots with the general. So that will strip its thunderous charge off also, right? It's CS1 TC2, so you'll be left with CS1. I think the standard bearer does have Bane Chant. A few maneuvers I did here. So firstly, I moved the mounted sergeants to protect against charges from the hunter as well as the berserker braves. So the berserker braves are unable to flank my general on winged beast because, you know, it's a very long rectangular base. It couldn't pivot because it will overlap into my mounted sergeants, which are exactly 1 inch away. So that's the purpose, to block off the flank counter charge, the flank reprisal. Yeah, so my cavalry is set up for the next charge. So are my fanatics. So the mounted sergeants is also in a way that screen both my fanatics, my cavalry, and preventing this general from being flank charge. So I'm holding my wizard back for, you know, to be flexible in case I need to do stuff with my wizard. Over in the middle, the giant expectedly charges the goblins, scouts. Infantry here charges the braves in the flank. My general, from the last picture, it flew 20 inches this way. I decided, you know what, I don't want to chase Kuslo, so I just turn around and leave. And the thing I want to make sure is that I keep out of 12 inches from the boomers. Okay, because I'm behind the boomers, it couldn't move 6 inches and shoot at me. It has to do a reform, turn 180 degrees around, so it couldn't move. So as long as I'm out of 12 inches, I will be safe from shooting. That's why it's so far back. Okay, if not, I think I could have just landed here and turned. If not for the boomers, oops. If not for the boomers, I think I could have landed here and turned, which would have been 1 turn earlier. But because of the boomers, I have to fly 20 out, and it's now facing this way, which is facing nothing. So I need 1 more turn to reposition Guan Yu, yeah, to do work. And this marker over here, I think I popped Indomitable Wheel because it did take 2 wounds, and it might get shot by the boomers or it might get charged by Kuslo without inspiring. It might go down, so I just popped the Indomitable Wheel at this point of time.
Okay, Cannon 1 on Siege Breakers. No hits. Cannon 2 on Siege Breakers. No hits. Cannons have been underwhelming so far. Lightning bolt on Hunters.
Two hits. 3 plus.
Do they have stealthy? No.
No.
Anyway, the lightning bolt doesn't.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. Nerf.
Nothing.
Fine. Okay, combat.
Over here.
7 attacks hindered. Zhang Fei on the chariots. There we go. 5 hits. Crush 2.
On trees.
Wow, 4 wounds.
4 wounds.
Enough check.
Oh my god, lucky. SB.
What's that nerf?
Oh my god! What the
What's that nerf?
waiver?
Oh, wait, okay. Just now, that was 14-16?
Also waiver. Because for 15, 17.
15-17, so just now
It's still
it's
waiver.
waiver already.
Yeah, it's waiver. Alright, over here, there's a flank charge on the berserkers.
Wow, okay, here we go.
60 dices.
Forgot to do the Bane chant. I'll just do the Bane chant. Bane chanted. 60, I'll roll twice. Hit on 5.
And now it's 20 hits.
On 2, crush 1 and Bane chanted. So
Alright.
18 wounds.
Yep, there's double ones. Once. Alright, that's it.
I think that's all. No. Giant! These goblins have faced the wrath of Sun Wukong!
D6 plus 8.
D6. 11!
Oh, D6 plus 6, not 8.
Plus 8.
Yeah, so 13.
13! 6. 7, yep. Hit on 4s. Oh, that's not a lot. On 2s. Oh! Only 4 wounds.
9, 11.
Brutal! Come on, that's enough.
Alright, that's it.
So pretty underwhelming for the cannons, didn't hit at all this turn. But on the left side, I did get a lucky waiver on the chariots, which is pretty amazing for me. Giant, pretty lucky as well, you know. I think it should kill it on average, but the dice can be quite swingy, you know, that D6 attacks. So if I roll low, I might not kill the scouts, but manage to with the help of Brutal. And then there's the Braves that got killed by the pikemen, but when I reposition, note that the key thing is I'm not benefiting from cover. So that's the painful part, which is why I said earlier I should have deployed it more towards the field, so that even when I kill, it will be somewhere around here, and then I'll be benefiting from cover from the obstacle and so on and so forth. With the hunters not being able to see the giant, my giant can face back to the center of the field. The left and center looks good. Top of tree, the hunters double charged with the braves because the braves alone might not be enough to kill because it will be hindered. Wavered chariots just pull back to give the general a hindered charge again. Over in the center, the siege breakers turn to face giant, while the goblin is still facing off against pikemen. Well, he's not sure if he'll kill the pikemen, so the goblins are facing in the front because getting flanked by the pikemen will be worse than the giant if I'm not wrong. While he's shooting platforms, the 2 warlocks and the boomers are ready to unload on the pikemen. Kuslo turn around to chase Guan Yu. Boomer's gonna unleash the herd on my pikemen.
18 attacks with elite.
Okay.
11 hits, wounding on trees. 8 wounds.
8 wounds. There are 10.
Alright, lightning bolts going into them as well. From the warlock, I have 4 lightning bolts. 3 hits. 2 wounds.
Okay, 12.
And Nom Nom has 5. 3 wounds.
15.
Alright, our Bing Chan over here.
Okay.
Bing Chan over here into the hunters.
Okay.
Got it. Bing Chan. No roll for the pikes.
Okay, 15 already.
What's the no?
That's a good question. 20, 22. 7 twice.
That's 9. That's 7.
Dead!
Yes. Boom!
Okay. I'm in trouble. My pike horde just got shot to bits. Okay, combat.
Combat. I'll do the hunters first.
Do you want to disengage that because that will counter charge makes me not hindered?
Oh yes, please. But anyway, if I don't charge you, you can't counter charge. Right?
No, if I'm engaged, it's a counter charge.
Okay.
I'll just come back 1 inch. Yeah.
Alright, so hunters sitting on trees with crocodile. I will
When do you
use my
decide to
crocodile
use it? Oh,
right now.
okay.
13 hits, 9 wounds.
Okay, they are burn enchanted. Yep. 9 wounds, double 1 already.
Okay. That's 9. That's 7.
Dead. Bang!
The berserker will shuffle sideways in 1 inch. You also shuffle the sides in 1 inch.
Okay.
And I'm done.
Okay, mounted sergeants go down quite expectedly. While the shooting was pretty impressive, yeah, I think it's slightly above average. But I do expect them to... dying is a big possibility for them. So they did go down. Let's see what happens next. So over on the left, General continued into the chariots. The knights and the fanatics double charge into the hunters because I want the big threat to die, right? The hunters. The braves, not too concerned because after that I can shift after that I can shift my knights sideways and you charge in hindered. It's too long, it couldn't charge the flank of the general once again. It took 2 wounds from shooting earlier, so there's a good chance of taking it out. Giant went into the flank of the goblins, which is the obvious choice. General Guan Yu swings around. I think is probably out of the threat charge range of Kuslo. So Kuslo is gonna be playing chasing, catching with Guan Yu. Guan Yu is in quite a strong position, facing down on a lot of things. Probably out of 18 of the boomers. Can't really measure now, but I think that's one of the considerations. I think I can survive two rounds of lightning, two lightning bolters, but not with the boomers added in. Because Kuslo turned around, right? So my pikemen kept chasing, and I know that this is that 1 pointer, so I want to go for that as well. Shooting! First cannon into the siege breakers. No hits. Second cannon into the siege breakers. No hits. And lightning bolt. No cover. 2 hits. 1 on 5. 2 wounds.
Nerf check.
Nerf check. That's it.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, combat. Let's do this one. I roll 1d6 and then I multiply by 2. Or I roll 2d6.
Yeah, is it? I thought roll d6 then you double it.
Okay, then I roll 1d6 divided by 2. Times 2. 8, 13, 13 times 2, 26.
Oh, they're so dead. On force.
No leh, I only hit on force.
On twos.
On 2s. Oh. They're not dead. 13.
20, 21.
Plus 1 for brutal. Ooh, double 6. Try again.
And they're dead.
Next, let's do that one first. I got a lucky waiver previously, so now I'm gonna charge in hindered again because he backed up. Zhang Fei on dragon on the chariots. 7 attacks. Hit on 4s. He hits only this time. Not that good. Wound on 2 wounds.
15, 17.
Oh, double 1s! Snake eyes! So that's on 6 wounds. Okay, next will be over here. Let's start with the fanatics are they charge in hindered as well.
And snare, so they're hitting on 5s.
Hit on 5s. Wound on 3s, they are crushing 1. 4 wounds.
Alright, that's 6 wounds at the moment.
6 wounds at the moment. They took 2 from Lightning Bolt earlier. Now 16 from the forces. They have
force.
Halpi, so ensnare still. Your force.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a very good hit.
Very good roll. That's 10 hits.
On 2s.
On 2s. 9 wounds.
So 15, there's double ones twice.
Okay, I rolled my snake eyes already, so it shouldn't happen again. Statistically, yeah.
Don't jinx it.
9.
Oh!
Got it. Oh, that is dead.
Okay, so I took out the hunters. I think I'm supposed to do about 6 damage. 6 to 7 damage on the knights on average, and about 3 damage, so about 10. So on already 2 wounds, yeah, usually. And yeah, I think I rolled double ones after double 6 to waver the chariots, but job has been done. He has delayed things enough. Still, the chariots countercharge with Bane Chant. That will be 10 hits on 3s, 6.6. So 7 wounds on average, with an average roll of 7 would waver my general. So that 14-16 nerf is really quite low. Cannons continue to disappoint, missing both its second and third round. So far it only hit once, which blasted into D3, into 3 wounds, 3 hits and 2 wounds. 2 wounds from Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt 3. So that's to make up for the poor cannon performance. And Giant did quite well. 1 flank charge into the goblins, killed it. I think that's a pretty good luck in the rolls, especially in the number of attacks, right? If it is low, then yeah, if it's 9 times 2, 18, there will only be like 9 hits on average. But I rolled 13 times 2, 26. Yep, so 13 hits on average, 11 wounds on average. But so I did much better than average to stay alive. So I did much better than average to kill the goblins. If I have not killed it, it also wouldn't be the end of the world, because the siege breakers is still charging it in front. So I'm not sure if my opponent could have positioned to charge the giant in the flank if the goblins didn't die. So this is the bottom of 3, so fool's gold. This is where all the scoring tokens are revealed. I was pleasantly surprised to see a 2-pointer down here on the strong side that I'm winning. And because I need all my forces here to fight, I will pull my wizard back to hold that 2-point token. So that's a great use of my 85 points while Lightning Bolting through the whole entire game. Center, so it's still a toss-up whether I'll win the center, but I'll win 3 points over here if I'm gonna win the left side. One of the tokens is worth 0 points, so a 1-pointer over here. I think there's a 0-pointer that disappeared over here, and a 1 point at this corner. So my 1-pointer that I'm trying to chase with my Spear Phalanx right now. So that is the board state. So still anyone's game, especially the center. So for him, obvious choices is to charge the Braves into the Knights, the Chariots into the General, and he still has 1 Army Standard Bearer that can chaff my Knights later on, so still not a guaranteed win at this point. So Siege Breakers charged in hindered into the Wukong. He took 2 wounds, but I think he could easily have drained life it off. So Kuslo turned around to face the Spear Phalanx threat, especially after knowing that there's 1 point over here. He decided to stop chasing down Guan Yu already.
1, 4.
I'm gonna try to waver my general in the rear. Let's see what happens.
4 plus.
3 plus 1 dice. 4.
Oh no.
Just 1 hit.
Sorry.
1 hit.
1 hit. And wounding on?
Wounded. 1 wound.
4 plus 2. Or nom that's 6.
6 dice because of the 2 units.
1 hit!
Oh! That will
No.
pay for my cannons not doing anything this round. Any other shooting? Bane
Bane
Chant.
Chant into this one.
Oh, here comes the pain.
Yes, Bane Chant.
Successful. So let's roll the nerf.
And Trial into that one.
Oh, if you pull me 2, I will charge you.
And Trial on force. 4 hits.
4 hits, that's a lot of wounds.
So on force. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. 4 now. Okay.
I will roll the nerf check for this one.
13, 15.
Oh, 9.
9 wavered. Oh.
I got Domingo, right?
I used it already.
Oh.
The previous round.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, next.
On the general, Double six, double six, double six, double six, double six. It's a 6.
Okay. Oh, you got single 6 by adding 2 dice.
Alright, combat. Siege breakers hitting on 4s.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'll leave it here so that I can see.
Wukong will not die.
7 hits.
Look at this view. How will it die, man? Come on.
Oh, that's 6 wounds.
Okay.
With brutal 7, I need double 6s to kill it. No, it's a 7.
6 wounds.
What else do I have? I have over here Berserker hitting on 5s.
Ma Tao will hold.
3 hits.
3 hits.
My Berserkers are awesome. On force. Nada, nada, nada.
0 wounds. That means I can counter charge with my full thunderous.
Back to the chariots. Who got
Okay, this one I'm a bit afraid.
enchanted.
I might get wavered.
So hitting on 3s. 9 hits.
9 hits. Wounding on 3s.
Hitting on 3s. So it's 4 wounds.
4 wounds. Oh, that's quite good.
I need 10s to waver. 9s to waver.
9 to waver.
No, it's a 5.
No.
I'm so dead on this flank.
Yeah.
So he fluffed his chariot, so my general is not even wavered, which is good news for me. He even dealt 0 damage to the knights, so it's gonna kill with thunders. Not that it's not gonna kill anyway, because the fanatics gonna eat it, charge it in the flank. The fanatics itself would average 13 wounds by itself. Wukong held the giant, good news for me, and he fluffed his rolls against the general Guan Yu, so it's gonna charge the siege breakers in the flank. He has already decided that, you know, there's no way his siege breakers can get out of dodge from both the giant and the general on winged beast, so he might as well get some damage onto the giant. He might be able to wither it down through the shooting. But my giant is in the field right now, so all shooting against it will be in cover. The Kuzlo, he used his sticky tongue, pulled me in, which I would be able to charge it because it's sticky tongue 12 inches and he pulled me 2, then that would pull me into charge range, but he wavered me and I already spent my indomitable will in the previous turn. My turn.
Here comes Guan Yu to the rescue! Top of 4! Oops.
So Guan Yu going to the rear of the siege breakers, pretty epic. It did take 1 damage previously from all the shooting. Over on the left side, so I continue as expected, general charging into the chariots, and then the fanatics and the cavalry into braves. Over on the right side, it just stood there because it wants to be near the scoring tokens anyway.
Okay, first one, Bin Chan over here. Succeeded. Second one is cannon and cannon. They will shoot at Nom Nom, I think. Because if I wound this, actually I'll try to go for this.
Right, on boomers.
If I roll hot, I might waver you. So cannon number 1, come on! Nothing! Cannon number 2, come on! 1. D3 plus 1. 2.
2 wounds.
Shattering. 12 to waver. Nope. Nothing.
Combat.
Okay, so let's do this one first. This is interesting. So I'm gonna crack. Hit on 3s.
Oh my god, that's 6 hits.
Wound on 3s. Ooh. Oh, only 2 wounds.
It's on 8 now.
My luck is running out. Let's see. Still 7 waiver.
One more time.
Oh,
Oh my god, what?
I'm sorry. That was
What
fantastic
stupid dice roll was this? Against my chariots, that's twice already. On the berserkers?
Actually, I'll do this one first, yeah. Oh, berserkers from the flank, 30. This should be enough to kill it. Ooh, famous last word. There's the fanatics in the flank. And 13. So outside.
One
Reroll.
more time.
Dead.
And the dead. Oh, this flank has collapsed for the ogres.
I think I can eat that. Ooh.
Hamburger.
Front charge.
12
8,
attacks.
12. Yeah. 12 is my
On 4s and 3s.
4s and 2s. Crushing 4, man.
Crush 4?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Giant. Doing very well. This is 6, 8, 12. Yep, 12. Wounds on 2. Crush 4. 8 wounds.
Alright, 8 wounds. Did you pin Chan just now?
I didn't chant this one. Hit on 4. No, what? Wounds on 2. Cause crushing 3 total.
Wound on 3.
Big shield is in front.
Oh yeah, correct. Correct. My bad.
So 4. Another 9.
Alright,
17.
17. Double ones. Twice. Oh. Double ones.
Oh, they got double
That's
6.
a box car.
Okay, that's my turn.
So very bad luck on my cannons, but very good luck on my general on winged beast. Basically, he took out the chariot regiment all on its own, which is above average dice for sure, and it allows me to turn my forces towards the center. Now, if I didn't kill the chariot or I didn't even waver it, I would need to turn my 2 forces, the knights and the fanatics, towards the chariot, because what's gonna happen is the chariot will kill off my general, right? And then the army standard bearer would chaff minimally the cavalry, but I think it could stand in a position that blocks both the cavalry and fanatics from charging the chariots. So so that means I need my forces here to deal with the chariot, but rolled pretty well, so everything turns towards the center. I'm exposing a flank charge to the cavalry from the standard bearer, but it's okay because if you charge me in the flank, I can still move forwards, right? If I allow the front charge, then you'll be stuck there. I want to assist the center, so I don't mind getting charged in the flank, especially if it's hindered. Okay, but the general is there to look at the standard bearer and be able to take it down. So the center siege breakers was expectedly taken down by these forces, especially the general on winged beast. 21 attacks hit on 4s, but wound on 2s because Bane chanted and no big shield. So let's see what happens in the next. Standard bearer charged the general to hold it down because it is very mobile, so he wants to stop it from coming to assist the center. The other choice is to charge the cavalry, right? Or another choice is probably to not charge anything and get out of the line of sight of the general. That could be a viable strategy because I would want at least 1 unit back here to hold this token in the forest worth 1. In the center, its shooting battery is once again preparing to shoot against units in the center, and then Kuzlo and Mat4 pulled back. So Johan opted to fire everything into the dragon.
9, 10 hits. Wounding on 4.
6 wounds. So it's on 7. Yep, definitely gonna be within waiver range with the 2 warlocks right now.
Alright, warlock will drain life. So drain life 5 plus 1. On 4.
The drain life is 1 extra dice than the lightning bolt, huh?
And 2 extra dice.
Conjuring stuff.
Conjuring stuff. No.
2 hits.
Wounding on 4. It's 2 wounds. Healing
2 wounds.
bonus.
That is annoying.
That's 8. Let's go all out. Lightning bolt 5. On Nom Nom. Ooh, that's 4 hits.
Okay.
On force. That's 3 wounds.
3 wounds, 11, 5 twice. Wowee.
Entral!
Okay, and throw over there. He's just gonna keep
On force.
wounding my guys until I die.
2 hits.
Just 2 inches forwards. That is
2
enough for me to
wounds.
charge. But I'm on 6. 7 to waver.
Right, let's roll the nerf check for this guy.
9 to kill. 6 wounds.
6.
6. Not wavered!
No! And general, I need 5s. One more time. Yes, 7.
Got it. And that's it over here.
Oh yes. 3 attacks. On force. 2 hits. On force. 1 wound.
1 wound. That's enough to ground it.
5 wounds. And with brutal is 6.
6.
I need
10.
8 to waver.
8 to waver. 10 to...
No, 5.
No, 5. Forgot to say this for Guan Yu.
Okay, so Guan Yu went down. We forgot to count that 1 wound I sustained earlier from the lightning bolt from the previous round. So it would have been 4 twice. But anyway, he died. Standard Bearer managed to ground the other general, but did not waver it. So that's good news for me. Hopefully, my general is injured, but hopefully it can outgrind the army Standard Bearer right now. So my turn. General on Winged Beast countercharge. The 2 units here hoofed it towards the center. So I still have 1 more turn, which means I'm well within time to get to the center. So I moved in a way that I screen my fanatics so that even if the cavalry get wavered, I can still move my fanatics into contest range. Wukong charged into the Ogre Warlock, and yeah, charged into the Ogre Warlock. Can't remember why I choose one over the other, but I guess it doesn't really make that big a difference. Maybe it's the nerf.
So the cannons are going to fire nom nom.
Yep. Cannon 1, Cannon 2, fire Nom Nom because I don't think I have enough to do anything to that. So first shot at Nom Nom. 1 hit.
hit.
Come on, this is it. D3 plus 1. 2.
On 2s.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
The other cannon.
1 hit. 2. 2 wounds.
4 wounds. Nerve check.
12, 14. That is fine.
4 wounds. So I'll just leave this here. So combat, let's do that one first. Over here. Flag guy. Flag has broken. He has not much will left to fight this fight. 3 to hit. 5 hits. 3 to wound. 4 wounds.
Right, 11, 13.
I might not get it. 4 wounds. That is 13. 7 plus 4, 11. Wavered.
Waver. Alright.
Good news for me. Next will be double there.
Oops.
So I figure if he charge me next turn, he has a chance to kill me, and after killing me, he will pick up that token. Because bottom of 6, right? He attacks, hits on 4. Not a lot. 1, 2. 2 hits only. That's pathetic. Okay. Wukong!
D6 plus 8. That's 10 hit. 10 attacks. On 4s and 2s.
Oh!
That's a pretty good roll.
Wukong!
7 hits. 2s. And that's 6 wounds. 12, 14.
It's at least a waiver. Come on!
Reroll.
6 wounds, right?
Yep, and he's wavered.
Wavered plus 1, so yeah, still wavered. 13.
Yes.
Good enough for me. And that's it.
So forgot to count the shattering. So I think the Nom Nom at 12, 14 and a die roll of 7 plus 5 would have been a waiver. Don't forget shattering, boys and girls. So I think I wavered the Standard Bearer, which is good news. Able to take it out soon. The Pikeman did 0 damage to Kuslo, so it's probably going to die very soon. So top of 6. So here's the thing, because I charged, right, Kuslo, unless he overran very well, he wouldn't get this token. So perhaps he should have charged one turn earlier instead of sticky tongued. Yep, he backs his stuff up to take more shots at Wukong.
So everything's gonna shoot into Wukong.
So boomers, 18 attacks with elite.
Oh, no, that's not very
That's
good.
a very bad roll. So 3, 6, 7 hits.
Only 7 hits for the wound. I might be okay.
Oh, 1. Oh my god. Oh my god.
1 only.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
sir. Lightning bolt.
Waver, right? How much did I do? I dealt 6 to it. Oh. So lightning bolt from Nom Nom.
That's 2 hits. On force. 1 more wound. That's 8. I need a big 11. Or is it? Oh, it's 20, yeah?
18, 20, but waver will. Nope.
No.
Oh, that side.
Oh, yes. 5 attacks. Hitting on 6. No, 5s. That's 3 hits. Wait.
-2 to hit.
And snare and phalanx, right?
Yeah.
Crush 2.
Oh, still so many hits.
3 wounds.
3 wounds.
That's 9.
9.
-1.
Dead.
Hmm.
Okay, so very poor rolls from his shooting to counteract poor rolls from my cannons, as well as the forgetting to check that Nom Nom was wavered. Game's looking pretty good in my direction. And so, you know, the Knights charge 1 unit, Wukong charge the other, while he also blocks the boomers out of the scoring zone. I placed the Fanatics to score. If I was smarter about it, I think I should have placed the standard barrier to block the overrun of the boomers behind my units. So that it couldn't possibly overrun to the 2-point token. But with the terrain, I can only move 5 inches, so maybe that's not possible.
Chant on the Knights. Got it.
Don't forget the cannons.
Cannon on the boomers. Your last turn to perform. Come on. Nothing. Second cannon. 1 hit. 2, 3. 2
2 wounds. Again, it's always 2.
Let's go. Wukong.
Wow.
12. 13.
You can just roll double ones if you want to.
Let's see the power of Wukong. 13. 6 wounds. 6 hits. 5 wounds. 11.
11.
Roll once.
One more time.
Roll twice.
Oh.
Turn to face. And now here. Hindered cause of fan.
blackout.
Oh my god. That's 4 wounds.
Wait. I would not. Defense 4, right?
Defense 5.
上次是 never
Nom Nom is defense 5. Wait, where do you get crush 2?
TC1. Cause
Oh, yes.
hindered TC1.
Another
5
5 to
wounds.
7 days. Oh,
That's
well.
9 on him.
Oh, he took damage?
Yes, from your cannons. One more time.
那个人看到我 stun， 又回来。
Yes, he's dead.
就是 never 看到问题。
Over there. Time to kill.
Oh, that's a very bad roll.
2
2 hits. 1 wound. On 11, 13. That's
那个机
5
翻生意不好，
plus 8.
13. Yep.
我 order 4块钱，他给我6块钱的鸡肉。
Yep, dead.
Okay, that's it.
出名的平时角落头那个。
So game ended at the bottom of 6, and I have, let's write it down, 2 points here, 2 points here, 1 point here. So I have a total of 5 to his 0. Well, he could have, I think he couldn't get here. This was something that we placed afterwards. He could have gotten 1 here and maybe 1 here, but that would force him to pull his units away from the fight in the center. This was a bit iffy. If I didn't kill the standard barrier, it would have been a tie of unit strength, so I would have lost this. So still 4 points here, which is a very strong lead. Okay, we just reached the end of the game, so I lucked out on one flank where my general charged the chariots and wavered it
Firstly, it was hindered but dealt 4 wounds, and then I wrote
11.
11.
12 and 11 for the nerf roll.
12 and 11, but after I realized the first 12 is waiver because
Yes.
of 16. Yep, and hindered, yeah, so that make me clear up the flank 1 turn earlier, which was crucial because that allowed me to, I can't see that, okay, that allowed me to get the center at that round. And yeah, the other side, I managed to fly over Kuslo and Mat4 to charge at the Siege Breakers, and then it just died the next turn. So the boomers have killed a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Boomers killed
They killed
Fanatics.
Fanatics, they killed the Horde of Pikes, they killed the General on Wing. I guess that's it.
That's it. Oh.
Yes.
Still amazing. Johan said that I gave his boomers free reign. There was nothing threatening it. So I guess that's why it was killing things left, right, and center. I should have deployed my phalanx, my spear phalanx opposite the field, so I can get into the field turn 2 to get cover against all his shooting. That was my fault. I positioned it in a way that I would get the obstacle in my center because I was afraid of the hunters charging. So I wanted to make sure that they were hindered even if they charge. Yep, that's a big mistake. But anyway, you place the goblins on the goblins and the braves block my way, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
when I counter charge, I charged the braves flank. It caused me to be out of the rain anyway. So I think
Yes.
that was that crucial 2 wounds from the braves and 13 wounds from shooting, putting it on 15 and routing them. Pretty scary. So boomers are yeah, I gotta say this round I was a bit luckier. I rode pretty well. Even the giants, he was charged
Yes.
the flank of the goblins and killed it in 1 round.
Oh my god.
Wukong survived to the end of the game on 8 wounds. 8 wounds.
Yes.
So MVP is boomers for Johan and giants or Wukong for me. Anything you wanna add?
I guess I played quite badly on my left flank where I have Kuslo. I should have anticipated where his dragon would fly to, so I could position better. I should really learn to anticipate where flyers will go. So, I mean, I've been playing Page with his Beast of Nature on wings, and then now 2 dragons. I mean
We realized that I played the same way. Instead of 2 beasts of nature,
his
it's 2
list
general.
is actually the same as
on
his
wings.
Green Lady.
Damn it.
Exactly almost the same, just that it's a different faction.
Damn it! And my pikeman never even performed. They just died. Both of them never performed. I charged Kuslo last turn. I deal 0 wounds.
Yeah.
Flyer defense is an interesting thing. One thing Johan said, maybe he turned the Kuslo backwards instead to guard his backfield.
Yes.
Because he has that building to protect from being charged. But I don't know what's the implication of that. We can discuss that after this video.
Mhm. And I guess on the other flank where he lucked out on the rolls on my chariots, I was trying to hold that flank for as long as possible so that I can take the middle and the other flank, but turns out the chariots got wavered the first charge, and then they didn't do enough damage on the general, and after that they were taken off the field. So bad luck on that flank, I would say.
Definitely. Yeah, because there was actually 3 tokens on that flank. That's why I deployed very heavily on that side as well. Johan was hoping that I would draw more towards the center because of his boomer, siege breakers, and 2 warlocks. But I actually deployed very heavily on that flank because I saw 3 tokens firstly, and then I thought I could swing around. In the end, I did, but it was very late into the game that if he held 1 more turn, I wouldn't have made it to the center. That would have made it a draw or possibly a win if for Johan if the rolls were more on his side. So still a great game. Thanks for the game.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's talk about learning points. First one, remember to have your wavered unit disengaged so you can withdraw 1 inch or just back up 2.5, 3 inches, whatever it is. So that will cause the attacker next round to do a fresh charge and it can potentially be hindered. Like my General Wing Beast in the forest, fighting in the forest all the way. Yeah, so these are the supporting rules. So firstly, the definition of engaged, while that's added in the errata. So look at the underlined segment. So if a engaged unit halts, right? So if you just keep your wavered unit halted, not doing anything, they'll remain engaged, but you don't get to fight because you're wavered, right? And then the rules for counter charge, okay? If it's engaged, doesn't matter if the opponent charged me or not the previous turn. If it's engaged, you can perform a counter charge. So as long as you counter charge, you are not hindered. So take note of this. So my pikemen should have been deployed opposite the field. I mentioned it several times. Blocking terrain, so great for preventing charges. So Kuslo stopped me from charging it. So I just decided to just fly out of there 20 inches. Yeah, so over here. Okay. One thing we talked about after the game was that at this point where my general flew over, he said he could have just deployed it this, he should have at that turn faced the back so that if my general fly over, he will be able to charge it. And if my pikeman threatened Kuslo, then he could just move there and hide behind the building again, and my pikeman couldn't charge Kuslo. So general on Wing Beast, it took 3 turns of positioning to get a good charge on 4th turn, and then died on 5th turn on the 5th turn. Yeah, so only got 1 good charge, but that was what I needed to kill off the siege breakers. So sometimes you have to be patient to find something good to do with it. Sometimes people will give up, you know. Kuslo's playing cat and mouse with me, so I'm just gonna move him willy-nilly, you know, just anyhow move it up to Kuslo's face. So boomers and shooting units, I shouldn't have left it unchecked. His lightning bolts and boomers were just clearing things every round for many turns. Okay, so regarding that, maybe I don't have to win on all fronts. If I faced Guan Yu to the front instead towards the boomers, it would keep the boomers in check and maybe it wouldn't move up so aggressively and get all sorts of shots in. So I don't know which one would have been a better strategy. On the other hand, my Guan Yu did eventually get a flank or rear charge on the siege breakers. Yep, so referring to over here. So Fanatics and the general over here might have kept the boomers in check, right? So over on the left side, do expect opponents to use the forest, you know, tow into the forest and then back out, causing you to waste 1 turn. That's talking about my opponent's chariot here. He was towed into the forest, and then I screened, and then he backed out. Okay, so I expected that. That's why I placed the general in a way that it would see the chariots even if it backed out, and then I could charge it to hold it down first. So final few learning points: do respect the boomers and the lightning bolts. Together they do put out quite consistent damage as compared to my cannons, which hit I think 4 times throughout the game. The first one blast into 3, then 2, and something like that. It didn't do very well, but the boomers with the lightning bolt much more consistent. Okay, so one thing I think I should have done, although this game it didn't come into play, is to deploy the war engines together. That makes sure that they are able to concentrate fire. They are able to shoot at the same target all the time. In this game, I managed to be able to shoot at the same target all the time, but that might not be the case when they're deployed in different positions. So dice management, when you roll lots of dice, here are some tips. So for myself, I have these smaller Chessex dice, and I have the bigger dice, but I have 1 extra, so that I have 13, because these were from my Redkin set. The Demon Spawn rolls 13 dice, so I bought 1 extra loose dice that's the same pattern. And you know, Chessex, these smaller dice come in 36. So at the start of the game, I knew that I only want to use 30. That's for my pikemen, right? So I took the 6 dice and I kept it aside. I make sure that I would not accidentally scoop it into this pile. So as long as I pick up all the small dice, it will be 30. Okay, and when it wasn't my turn, I arranged it this way because if I'm to charge with the Fanatics, I'll be rolling 15. I'll just grab 15, and with the cavalry, I'll take 16. Okay, so this is not even the best system to manage. So this is one that I use for my Order of the Green Lady. I actually have 10 dice of one color and 15 dice of the other color because I have an infantry horde. So if I were to fight with that horde, I would roll all 25 dice. Okay, if I were to charge with my usual cavalry with 16 attacks, right? So I'll just grab this 15 dice of one color, and then I just add 1 dice in. Okay, and if it's a large infantry, 18 attacks, I'll just grab 3 dice from this color with 15 here. I just grab this whole pile plus 3 dice from this other color. Okay, and for my Redemption Knights, which has 20 attacks, so once again I grab this and I just count 5 from here. So I don't have to count 20 dice all the time. So this is a system you could use. If your army has potentially 30 attacks, you want to add another 5 dice so that you have 15 and 15. So these are the easy way to manage rolling dice, but do always make sure that you don't forget about 1 loose dice. So maybe you have 15 blue dice, right? You left 1 somewhere on another side of the table. So when you pick up, you thought you have 15, but you are actually rolling 14. So you are disadvantaging yourself. So do make sure after you roll all the dice, you keep them neatly in the same pile. So that's why I use the D20s for the wounds. I wouldn't want to use D6 for my wounds. If you're from the Asia Pacific region, do consider checking out Hammer House website for your hobby needs. They carry a wide range of miniatures and hobby supplies, including Mantic, Vallejo, Scale 75, and Green Stuff World products. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this battle report with a little different style. It took ridiculously long to edit. And if you like the content, do like, subscribe, and hit the bell for your notifications. And I'll see you in the next video.